Hey, what's good? What's good, people? Part two of Mom's World. Uh, yeah, let's dive in. Let's have a chat with the moms and see what everyone's saying. Hi, Chanel.
Hi, how's everyone doing? Hi, Katie.
I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. What about yourself?
Not too bad. Literally just finished doing like lots of house chores, cleaning up, all of that stuff, mum love. Oh. And now I can finally relax.
All right. So, well, after eight is your is your you time, is it?
Yeah, after 8 is like me time. No disturbing me, no running out your room. It's like it's time to go to bed. We've been together all day now. Like I've had it.
That's calm.
Really, yeah.
What about you, Katie? How you doing?
Hello? Yeah. I was thinking, is it muted? Yeah, good. Leon's back to nursery, but obviously it's only for a few hours in the afternoon. So I still feel quite tired by 8 o'clock. I get like maybe 2 hours to myself to do like everything in the house. So I'm still quite tired.
Imagine like literally no time at all is there, like being a mum.
Yeah.
Like, my whole life is just with the kids.
Yeah, it's a full-time job as well.
What about you, Renice? It says Renice and Orion. What we got?
So I can't change the name. The last time I was on here with my son. So I had Orion on. But I think I was doing like some kind of Zoom kiddie thing. So
okay.
Yeah, change it now. Sorry.
Hey, that's all cool. It's all cool. We got my brother, my handsome brother with us today.
Thank you. Hello everyone. Sorry I'm late, by the way. Carry on. I'm just gonna be a passenger. Hope everyone's okay.
We haven't got like a topic. There's no topic. It's just a free table. Obviously I'm not a mum. I don't know about you, Tabo. Last time I checked, you still trying to sow your fruits. But what's going on with everybody? What's happening in the mom's world? Fill us in.
Right, so what's going on with me? At the moment, not much really. Stay-at-home mum right now. I'm currently not working. I'm unemployed, but I'm looking to sort of figure out what my career options are going forward. I used to work as a support worker, and prior to that, I was actually a carer. But I'm sort of happy that I didn't carry that on, and I didn't have to work through the pandemic. Like I can't imagine having to like work front line and then come back home to my son Mally, who's a special needs child. Do you know what I mean? So like navigating all of that would just have been like way too much for me. So I sort of decided to leave that. And yeah, at the moment I'm sort of looking at what my career options are, trying to enjoy the time at home with the little one. But sometimes I feel like I'm getting sensory overload. Do you mums feel like you get that sometimes? Like being at home and having to work at home. I mean, I don't know your respective situations, but I feel like there's just so much going on in the house. I just feel overloaded with like just stuff going on, and it's just too much.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I'm getting out the house every day is just like a godsend. I have to do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, like,
it breaks up the day, doesn't it?
It does, and it tires out the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I literally took him for a walk this afternoon, literally around the estate, and then just the little park that we've got at the top, and he absolutely loved it. And by the time we got back home, he was just conked out for like 2 hours, which was perfect. So I just had like a nice little afternoon nap myself and just relax as well, which was just amazing. So yeah, like the walks really do help, don't they?
Definitely. I took my son, he's been walking. He just turned 1, my son did, but he's been walking since he was about 10 months old, but he's not really been walking outside the house.
Yeah.
So now it's been a bit sunny. I've been taking him out to the park. He's been wearing shoes now because he hasn't been wearing shoes before. So today I took him out. It was nice and sunny. So he was running around the park, chasing after kids on their scooters and after the dogs and stuff. As soon as he got in the house, he was conked out, literally slept for 2 hours. It was great.
You met the most of that time. Because my son, he never really naps because he'll be 4 in July. So he actually starts school in September.
Oh,
Yeah, and he started walking at 11 months. I think he's definitely ready. He's very advanced for his age, as most toddlers are now. They know everything, how to put on Netflix, how to put on YouTube. It shocks you, doesn't it, what they can do now at such a young age.
absolutely.
But he does nursery 3 to 4 times a week in the afternoon. So the mornings, we kind of do our own thing. Afternoon, he has nursery. But by the time I get home, it's time to go get him. Them few hours, even though I appreciate them, it's just me doing housework. So it's not really free time.
Yeah.
But what I did notice is that in the lockdown, I was homeschooling him. I didn't have to because obviously his nursery is play to learn. But I just thought, well, he's starting school this year. I want him to get some sort of like head start. So we were doing little maths and like writing his name, cooking, gardening. I'm quite an active person.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, when I go back to nursery, do I still homeschool him? Because on Fridays, when he's at home with me. And I was like, I'm going to try and do not all my weeks homeschooling in one day, but the maths and the writing and reading, I'm still going to do on a Friday with him because he learned a lot at home. He wouldn't have learned how to write his name at nursery or do maths because there's just a lot of playing. Do you know what I mean? So I'm gonna keep doing that on Fridays, and hopefully, like, when he starts school, it won't be so like new to him. He'll be like, oh, I can write my name, things like that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I plan to homeschool. I used to work in nurseries up until about 5 years ago. I was working in nurseries and schools for like 10 years, and since then I started singing professionally, and then I had my son last year. And now I've got him, I kind of want to get back into childcare again. It's really weird. I think I've got like a newfound respect for childcare, but I definitely plan on home learning, and I'm planning on training to be a childminder as well. Because as much as I enjoy, as much as I want to have my free time, I also enjoy like working with children, and if I can work with my son as well, you know, it will, make a bit of money from it on the side.
Quite a lot actually. Like I remember when I was at uni, I literally had to get a childminder, and one of them was like 20 something quid an hour. Like, she was actually quite expensive. But the range of like activities and stuff that she offered, the meals that she was offering and stuff were absolutely like amazing. So like, it is like a really cool, like,
You've got to be worth your money though. But and I know that when I was working with children, I was good.
And you're a mum now, so you're like,
I remember when I left, I had so many presents from the parents. They were just so sad to see me go, and I'm just like, and I look back and I'm just like, for children, let's make some money now. So
I rate you because I could not work with kids. I help at the church Sunday school creche. That's all right, because it's just like they're playing, we do a bit of like gospel stuff, but I'm just like, this full time, nah. I'm all right.
It's challenging. It's definitely challenging, but I think I've so just about me as well, because you gave your introduction. Like I said, I was singing up until last year when I stopped working because I have to have my son. But I also started a Black Mums group. So me and my cousin and a few of our friends, we kind of got together, and we had a lot of friends that had babies around the same time, like within like the last year or two. And we just made like a WhatsApp group, and then we made an Instagram page, and then all of a sudden we're just having like these regular meetups, and it was really nice. Like over the summer last year, like us just meeting up in the parks and us meeting up in different cafes, and just having all the children to come together and just kind of like feed off each other, I suppose. And because it's been lockdown and it's been really hard to kind of get out and see other people and everything, everything's up in the air. Like 1 minute it's open, next minute it's shut. It's just been nice to have the children interact with each other, like as and when. Like sometimes one or two of us might meet up separately, go around each other's houses or go for a walk or something like that. And it's just been, I think that's kind of been part of the reason why I want to get back into childcare as well, because seeing the dynamic between the children and like seeing how you can help like nurture that and help that to grow, it's definitely it's a weird one though, because I strive for free time. But then I'm they're like, yeah, I want to work with more children.
But no, I think it's good that you found your kind of path. I think it's quite hard right now for mums to plan their next step, because obviously I want to, when Leon starts school in September, I want to obviously work part-time. So I'm trying to get experience now doing stuff like volunteering, charity work, because I do beauty pageants, but I like the charity side of it. So I'm in Miss Galaxy, the finals in November, but I'm doing a lot of stuff for charity, and that's what I want to kind of go into. Trying to get volunteering work. They need to give you like one-on-one training. Obviously, you can't get still too close, so you can't find any volunteering. I'm doing like an online course and trying to study, because I have to have something to offer somebody by the time Leo starts school, so I can actually get into like making a bit of money. But it's hard to get even the kind of like volunteering experience right now. And like, I'm hoping that the courses I'm doing will help, but there's people still want experience, and I think I'm worried like in September it will come and I'll be like, oh no, like what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, well, I do hope you get the opportunities that you're looking for the experience and stuff, because I know, like, obviously with studying, it's a great deal of like studying that goes into like, you know, when you're applying for jobs and stuff, people are always looking at that, but a lot of people always want to see like experience. Opportunities, because like, how do you have the experience without being given the opportunity to like try it out? You know, it's just so mad to me that like, have you got experience? It's like, no, but like no one wants to give me the opportunity to experience. What do you like, want me to do? It's just so crazy. But
that's quite hard, isn't it, right now in lockdown? You can't plan so much things you want to do your best for your children, don't you? You want to get a good job that leads to a full-time and blah blah, but you can't plan it. It just delays everything.
No, definitely. I do feel like the pandemic, you're right, it has sort of like made it difficult to sort of plan for the future, because there's just like a lot of uncertainty. Like, I feel like sometimes I feel like for me personally, the pandemic has just forced me to sort of focus on the now, rather than being so wrapped up in the past and what's happened, or like so heavily obsessed about what the future could possibly be, or what the options are for that. It's about being present in this moment, and everything that happens within this moment will sort of determine how good the future will be. Do you know what I mean? So that's sort of the mindset that I'm working with at the moment, because it is difficult to plan right now.
100%.
That's such a beautiful perspective of it. I think that's really I can take from that.
Definitely, like, just be present in the moment and just try not to worry about things too much, because like it is sort of out of,
it's not our fault, is it, at the end of the day? Like, if we had just been lazy and not been wanting to get out there and research or get little jobs and stuff, that's different. But where we haven't actually been able to, we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves when it's not our fault that we're not getting the bits, isn't it?
Definitely. I know this is actually a little bit off topic, but has anyone watched the Meghan Markle and Harry interview? What's everyone's thoughts on that? Piers Morgan this morning, like walking off as well. Like, it's just crazy right now.
We can still relate it to motherhood, because Meghan's a mother.
Exactly. So there we go. And she's pregnant right now, actually, with their second child, the girl.
Yeah.
I can imagine that going through all of that.
It was a little bit like, because they opted to do the interview, and I did like to be a little bit controversial. It's like they knew that once they did the interview, it's gonna cause an uproar throughout the nation. And considering that she's pregnant, I'm just wondering what her mindset was, thinking, you know, like all that stress that she might come under from this interview, and how that would affect her pregnancy. Does she think it's going to be a positive? Like, is that going to ease? Like, I don't know. I'm just a little bit like, well, why would you do it now? Kind of thing. I mean, I could get the whole, she wants to speak up and she wants to say her piece, but
and it's a good point, actually, because obviously she wants to share her truths with people. But at the same time, not everyone's gonna believe. So again, having more haters that don't believe your truths or whatever whilst you're pregnant, that will send your hormones crazy.
Exactly. And the thing is, I think she should definitely speak up and say her piece. If she's been treated wrong and all that kind of stuff, she should definitely speak up. I just think it's the timing right. Like, you know, when you're becoming a mum, it's such a it's such a life-changing time, whether you're going just for your first child or for your second child, you know. So I'm just like, wouldn't you want to be, I mean, for me personally, like when I was pregnant, everything was starting to like shut down. Like I was starting to cocoon myself so that when I become a mum, like I can just immerse myself into motherhood. So she's just kind of like got more, like 1,000 more, because I didn't really pay much attention to the royal family before, like, and I didn't even have any plans to watch the interview yesterday, but because you cannot escape it, I was just like, let me just see what this is saying now. I just, you know, but yeah, that's just my thoughts on it, really. But you know, I wish her all the best, and her children and her family. So
yeah, no, definitely. I think
I haven't paid it much attention, but from the little I've gathered, she's done the interview. Well, they both done the interview because of the strain it's having on their mental health and the family as well.
Yeah.
And from where I'm sitting, I've never had a child. You know, I don't know what it's like to be a mother. I don't know what it's like to be a woman in today's society. But a woman like Meghan Markle in the media, and in the media I see, it's a media full of Piers Morgan. Because after the wedding, there hasn't been a lot of good things said about Meghan Markle.
Yeah,
I haven't heard a lot of good things. It's just been, she doesn't get violated left, right, and center. So I would think, like, you know what, they're trying to take all that heat off the family. If they get that done before the second child comes in, then, you know, sort of gives them time to focus on their family and sort of try and build rather than try and carry the weight of, you know, what Piers Morgan's going to have a second child and that stuff.
Yeah, I hope that's what it does. I really
do. Yeah, same.
Well, Piers Morgan, I think they said Piers Morgan's resigned. He's resigned from Good Morning.
He needed to.
Has anyone heard? Apparently, he wanted to go out with Meghan, and
he got rejected. He got rejected.
Created this odd cycle of him being really like passive aggressive with her and just literally just vilifying her at any opportunity that he gets. Do you know what I mean? And I find it really, really strange. And I think another thing that is sad as well is just, I think looking at Prince Harry's dad, Charles, he sort of went through a very similar situation. I don't know how many years ago now. I want to say maybe 20 to 30, probably even 40 years ago now. I think Diana's been dead for like 24 years. So when you think about sort of all the things that they went through and the context that he has, it's sort of like, how can you watch all of this unravel and unfold and just sort of do nothing about it?
Yeah.
He's silently complicit with the rest of the family and sort of alienating them and sort of making them feel displaced within this, I don't know, 1,200-year-old institution that they feel really uncomfortable within. And it's just, and then just the idea of like questioning the race of the baby as well, like that is just, oh my goodness, that was just too much. That was too much, like being like, oh, how dark is this baby gonna be? Because like we're all white and, you know, like how's it gonna fit? How's it gonna look like? That is just so strange and just not done.
I saw the funniest meme, and it was like, the only reason we asked what race, how dark it's gonna be, is because we wanted to know whether to play hip hop music at its christening.
Oh
God!
I saw another when you know when you go get your sonograms done, I saw another meme today where like they had like a
do-rag.
Yeah, the do-rag, literally the do-rag. It was
no, it's getting mad, isn't it, to be honest?
Yeah.
But like, I hope it does raise a more awareness for racism campaigns and mental health, because if anything, whether people believe it or not, these areas are so important, especially right now, to raise awareness for. So regardless of whether people believe it or not, these issues need to be dealt with anyway.
They really, and I think it's the fact that also like being a Black woman, this whole I think this whole situation that she's endured, I think it really does show how Black women are vilified, made to be painted as aggressive. You know, when you put there were loads of like carousels on Instagram today about the tabloids being pasted side by side. If Princess, what's her name? If Princess Kate is eating an avocado, it's fine.
Oh yeah.
She does it, she's like causing a drought somewhere or something crazy. Or like if she's holding her bump, it's like she's obsessed and she's doing it out of vanity. But when Princess Kate does it, oh, she's just cradling her lovely little baby bump with love. Like, it's just awful. And I just feel like every chance that they get, they've just done that. And I think now that she's sort of defending herself and seeing her husband defend her as well, and sort of taking that really big step, stepping away from his family, especially being like a royal, and just all of his responsibilities, his duties, and just the institution, really. Because when I think about it, the royals are sort of like a representation of what it means to be English, at least for like white, you know what I mean, mainly for like white people. It doesn't really pertain or mean anything to me because I can't really identify with them or understand them. But for British people who care about that stuff, like, that is sort of, it's the exemplary idea of what the family institution on the smaller level should be. And so leaving all of that is a massive step to sort of support his wife, and I sort of commend that he's done that. And I think one of the things I really liked as well was that he admitted that before being with Meghan, he didn't really have a lot of knowledge on sort of like, you know, race and all of the things that were going on, despite doing his own work. It took him being with her to sort of realize all the tiny microaggressions that happen and that are also at play, and not just the bigger things that we see every single day. And so that was that was actually really, really nice to see that he actually really did support her there. So big step on his part. Must be scary, I think, but yeah, it's a good thing to do.
It definitely sounds like they're all trapped in some kind of bubble, like, and he was probably the only one out of, like, between him and his dad and his brother, was the only one that actually had the ability to step away, because he's probably never going to be king. So you know, he's the one that can escape, whereas like his older brother, you know, he's got to stay, you know, help maintaining a certain image. And I think it was definitely like what's her name, Meghan, she definitely opened up his world to I mean, he had it in his DNA anyway from Diana, because, you know, Diana was someone that, you know, she was very, you know, she wasn't like the royal family, you know what I mean? So I'm happy that he can see the world as, you know, reality, not from that bubble lens of the royal family.
It's about educating yourself as well, like parents educating their children and adults educating themselves. Because even though my son's technically still 3, we started already learning about Martin Luther King. And it's obviously like, I was thinking, is it too early? I was like, well, no, I haven't got to go into deep of it, but I can just mention their names and things like that. And even today, I got a book called Little Black Leaders. It's a really good book, actually, for young children. And I was saying about Nelson Mandela went to prison because he knows what prison is because he watches Paw Patrol. And then I kind of like skipped to like the next bit, and he was like, why did Nelson go to prison? And I was like, I'm going to try and explain this in the most easiest way that I can. But it's going to be difficult because he's still young. But I think if you start educating children from early, hopefully, if everyone does it, in each generation will start to have more of an understanding early, rather than just know about it now, or adults realizing now, like, you set the game up and educate ourselves. And educate
definitely. You feel got to educate them and empower them as well. I think that's such a big thing for our children. My son's only 1, so he's not ever got to the point where he's got to like stand up for, you know, his beliefs, and he probably doesn't even realize what, you know, black and white is. But I definitely think that we need to like empower our children, just to feel proud of themselves, like of who they are and where they come from, and they've got to know like where they like. I just got to know, they've got to be empowered for themselves. I just really think I don't know where to start. I mean, it starts, I suppose, with the smallest things, like you're saying, just like reading him the story, and, you know, just like the images that they see on television, and the words that we use to describe ourselves and each other and stuff like that. Just kind of like building on that. Definitely think something, you know.
I agree.
How do you control what they watch? Because one thing I've noticed about children these days is they're heavily reliant on technology. And the one thing that you mentioned earlier as well is kids can use YouTube. There are times I stand there and I just watch my 3-year-old niece, and she's operating YouTube. You know, she'll type it in, she'll scroll, she'll click. She knows when she's tired of it, she'll skip, she'll flick to Netflix, pick a show. And I'm just like, wow, that's amazing. But on the other side, they're like
scary.
They're glued to this device, like, you know, almost 24/7. And we're also glued to our devices. It's not just them, you know, because the way, especially through lockdown, you know, everything is more online now. So we're looking at our screens, you know, trying to do whatever we're going to do. They're looking at their screens. So do you sort of ever consciously take control of what they're watching or what they've got access to, or you try and control like screen time and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I do. I think this is where my African side comes out. I'm half English, half Nigerian. But when it comes to the telly thing, I'm quite strict on it. Like I don't mind him watching Netflix because obviously his thingy is specifically for kids, whereas YouTube is for everybody. So on his phone he has YouTube Kids, which is parental controls. So you actually pick what type of categories of videos they watch, but it's called YouTube Kids. But he's clocked there's YouTube Kids and there's normal YouTube. So I don't want to go watch YouTube Kids, and he wants YouTube on the telly because obviously he hasn't got it on the TV. But it's got to a point now where I'm literally like, unless I'm sitting in the sitting room with you, then you can watch YouTube. Apart from that, it's CBeebies or Netflix, because I know that I can leave the room and there's nothing that's going to come on that's like bad. But with YouTube, I've seen kids typing in all sorts of stuff comes up. No, not about it. And I think I will control his YouTube thing until, I don't know, quite some time.
Because there is like there's just a lot of crazy content out there. Like, I don't know if anyone remembers, this is really random, but there was some documentary on Netflix called Don't Fuck With Cats or something weird like that, where some dude was actually murdering someone, and it was on YouTube. Like, so
wow.
Yeah, there's so many like weird things that you could find on there, all those weird, like, you know, when you fall into the weird parts of YouTube and you're on these weird documentaries and all sorts of things. So like, there's just too much to protect the kids from. Do you know what I mean? So, like, yeah, I definitely agree with the whole YouTube Kids, parental lock, pins, like, even sometimes I might watch like a program and be like, oh my god, like what a crude joke. Like, I feel like Peppa Pig, they do a little bit of like crude joke.
You know what? Peppa Pig is banned in my house. My son is Peppa Pig is rank. Do you ever see how Peppa Pig talks to their pet? No.
I know, it's really bad.
My house.
Why I let him watch it. He's become really obsessed with it actually, and now that he's jumping around the house, like every time they sing the Muddy Puddles song,
yeah,
like so thundery, and the whole house will literally be like thumping with him. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, he loves it. Absolutely loves it. Like, if you turn it off, it will be a meltdown for like 3 hours. Like,
oh my days, he's obsessed.
Is like, he's got so much Pig stuff. He's even got like the massive George soft toy. Like, that's how much he loves it. So like, yeah, I can't even get into it enough.
Oh wow. My son, he likes we watch Akili on YouTube.
Akili.
Yeah, oh my god.
Actually, is that good?
Oh, it's amazing.
How do you spell that actually? Let me look it up now.
Akili.
Okay, Akili.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's basically, I think it was made by like, I think they're in Tanzania, I think they're based, and it's to teach the children English, but we can actually learn like the lessons, the stories that they tell teach such good lessons, like it even teaches, like, you know, about like compassion for like your friends, and teaches you about how to make learning fun, and teaches you about your body parts and all that kind of stuff. And I just think it's a healthy way for children, like, you know, the kind of influence that you want your child to have. But Akili is the only thing that my son will sit down and watch. Anything else I put on the television, he gets distracted. I mean, he's only one anyway, he gets distracted, but Akili, he can just sit down and just watch that over and over and over. I've seen every single episode so many times. But I would highly recommend, especially for black children, because you know. But yeah, I'd really recommend that one.
I try there's sometimes in the evenings where I kind of want Leon to go on his phone and like play his little games that I've got, like CBeebies Island and stuff. But when he's so active, obviously you've all got boys, right? So yeah, haha, it's coming. Yeah, they're so active. And even when you kind of want them to go into like chill mode, like bedtime's coming up, to sit down and chill. No, like let's do it. And it's like the pro is that he's not one of these kids that always on their tablets. He's out and about person like me. We do gardening, we do cooking. Before lockdown, everything, Hamleys, beach. Like we have our own little things we do like every day.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just like, okay, you need to just settle for a little bit now and just sit down, start to zone out. So my son is literally the opposite, which is, like I said, it's a good thing because nobody wants their kids to just be glued to the thing, not have good social skills. But sometimes in the evenings, you just kind of want them to just play a little game for an hour before bed or before a story, whatever, you know what I mean? So yeah.
I have a question.
Oh, sorry.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to ask them about screen time. Like, how much screen time do you guys give for the boys?
I think
depends on the day. Like usually,
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I don't like him to watch too much of the screen. If like usually it's just like if I need him to just be settled for something. Like if I'm cooking, I just need you to just kind of like just sit there, just like, you know, watch Achille for like, you know, 20 minutes while I quickly put together something, or, you know, if I've got to run to the toilet or something, you know, I don't, but yeah, if he's not watched anything all day, like today, he's not really watched much screen. So now, like, he's with his dad in the living room, they're sitting down watching Achille, you know what I mean? I think they've been playing about as well, and he's probably just like settling him down. Like, he's a bit of a late head as well. We don't go to bed early, so so he's just, you know, watching some screen, and then he'll probably, you know, have bath and God knows what. So yeah, how about you?
Again, it's kind of more when I like in the mornings, like when he first wakes up, obviously he gets up, well, he goes to bed at 7:30 and he gets up around 7. Obviously I'm not getting up at 7 every morning until he starts school. So that's maybe the morning time I let him do it, because obviously maybe I'll stay in bed till 8 or whatever, 7:30, and he'll do it then. But once I'm awake, he don't want to go on it anyway. It's like, Mum's awake, entertainers here, woohoo! You know? So I'm like, oh gosh, like, so all day he don't really go on it in the day, and then only in the evening I say, oh, you got half an hour before story time where you can go on it, and even then he's like, you said you're gonna play Toy Story. I'm like, I want to play, like.
Oh my God, well, I've got to come. Boys are non-stop, aren't they?
Yes, I snapped back quick for my pregnancy, boy. I was like, here we go.
Yeah, gotta get like physically fit.
Yeah. Boys are a lot, they are. But for me, with the screen time, I tend to do like quiet time up until about 2 o'clock every single day, because I find that my son's super energetic and having special needs and being nonverbal and being like having sensory overload as well. Like, I never really want him having too much going on at like one time. So it's usually quiet time till 2 o'clock. That might be filled with like a range of different activities, from reading to just chilling together, maybe listening to music or like exercising, just playing or whatever. Like tomorrow we're going to be doing like some handprints. Now that he's getting bigger, I feel like it's the perfect time for us to do that. So tomorrow, and so usually quiet time up until about 2. Then I'll maybe do like a little movie, so we might watch like Minions, which is his favorite movie, and then we'll have like another break, maybe have like lunch or something, or no, not lunch, like a late snack or whatever. And then like in the evening as well, he might maybe do like a couple like 30 minutes of like Peppa Pig before going to bed. But then there are some days, I won't lie, where if what I need is for him to watch TV all day because I just really need a break. Sometimes that does happen too. I don't want to lie about it. There are times as a mum where screen time does get a little bit excessive, but I do really try every single day to ensure that we stick with this routine, because I just don't want him getting lost in the whole, you know, just the zombie thing of being like stuck to the screen like the whole time, because it's just not the way to live and to learn new stuff and engage and socialize, like you said, with other kids too, and other people learning about the world in general. So yeah.
Does he enjoy music a lot? Because my brother's got severe autism, so he's 23 this year, and he's still obviously he can't read, he can't write, he can't speak, but he can obviously walk and feed himself. And his go-to is music. He'll happily go to the toilet, because that's his little safe space, and just have his headphones on, just listening to like R&B. So it's that there's music help him.
Yeah, my son loves music. So he loves like all the songs that I love. I'm a really like diehard neo soul fan, and I've really been bumping the Jasmine Sullivan album a lot lately. So anytime that song comes on like what song is it? Girl Like Me. Anytime Girl Like Me comes on, he literally just starts swaying like this side to side, and I'll just start joining him in. Or he really loves the Beyonce album as well, actually. Find Your Way Back, and Already. He loves Already. Like if I change the song, he'll get really angry with me. So yeah, he loves music. Music is a really great way for him to sort of like express